I grew up in Turkey. We did not have access to movies when I was growing up in a timely manner. We did not have access to video games when I was growing up in a timely manner. And the only way I was able to enjoy all of these video games when I was growing up in Turkey was cracked video games.
What the f***, man? Really? That's where we're at now? We're like 5 minutes in the conversation and this is his excuse for stealing content? Is he had to steal? I was in Turkey. So do kids in Turkey, are they just not able to watch Lamino? They have to XQC, but XQC's allowed in there? What are you saying?
XQC is the guy who feeds all the little Turkish kids content. So thanks to him.
Fantasy argument land are we in? This is just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's his connection. It's supposed to be, I had to use crack content growing up. Therefore, all illegal content and all IP stealing content is good.
So yesterday, Ethan Klein surprisingly went against XQC and Hasan on the H3 podcast. You guys know Ethan does a show with Hasan. Well, they were doing their show yesterday, and Ethan decided to challenge Hasan on the reaction content debate that's been happening. The whole internet is angry at reaction, content creators, people that just steal videos, that will just react to videos on stream, not give any fair use reactions, just kind of let the video play, instead of making original content. Well, Ethan has taken the based position and gone against reaction content, whereas Hasan is much more sympathetic to people that just sit on their ass, eat food, stuff their face, and just let other people's content play while they rack in the donations. Ethan went against Hasan, and it was great to see.
Yeah, well, of course, Hasan is, on that side, because that's what he does. So he does himself. I mean, there's so many clips of Hasan reaction memes where he just stands up from his chair and a video is just playing in the background. I mean, this is his content day in and day out. But what's so funny about this is that Ethan, honestly, you've always covered him for a long time. I've known him for a long time. He's been getting some dubs recently. I'm just going to be real.
It's time to admit that Ethan is cool. Okay.
With Pearl, he had a dub. Here, he had a dub. I mean, maybe he's on his redemption arc. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm here for it, Let's take a listen.
So, just right off the bat, what the fuck is this editing? There's 10 seconds of him sitting there like a moron. Look at this idiot.
Yeah, I mean, it's not high effort.
No. The editing is not high effort. I mean, hold on.
No, it's not.
Let me get a taste of this. Why wouldn't they cut that?
Kristen Tate being held in a Romanian jail cell for over 3
Look at him.
Yeah,
he doesn't even know what the fuck he's watching.
I think the main problem here
what a
is
moron, dude.
The main problem here
he zooms in on his face.
He looks so confused. He's like, what?
Should be that if this is on your main channel, you should definitely edit it more for sure.
Hold on, Hasan. I really want to see. I want to get a feel for this.
This is like my fan. This is like fan-owned and operated channels that just straight post VODs.
This isn't though.
No, that's his main channel.
This is XQC's main primary channel that he chose to upload and defended.
Right.
Uploading on YouTube, so that's wrong.
Straight rip VODs, you know what I mean?
For the past 6 months, but with the recent developments in their case, it seems like this is just the beginning. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly
Has he said anything?
No, he's just sitting there playing Internet Anarchist video in full, just giving nothing, right?
I mean, this is already theft. He didn't even intro it. He didn't talk about it. He's literally just sitting there quietly for the first 30 seconds. You should sue him. Fuck you, XQC, you thief bitch. I'm not surprised he's stealing people's videos. He steals people's money too on fucking gambling.
On this, by the way,
gambling.
You got a gambling swipe in there too at the same
Dude,
time.
I forgot Ethan Klein does not like anybody that gambles, which I actually disagree with him on. I don't really think it's that big of a deal, but for the sake of this video, Ethan Klein is our best friend, right? Dude,
he sounds bad. I like how the video immediately started off by Ethan Klein accusing him of being a thief, and Hasan's response was, yeah, it's not high effort. He's trying to say it's low effort.
It's no effort.
Ethan is like, this is no effort. This is just theft. Yeah. This is just stealing content.
It's not low effort. It's no effort at all.
Yeah.
Look, you're talking to someone who I do not care about IP in the same way that you do. We have differing opinions on it.
You think that you should be able to take people's videos and re-upload them wholesale?
Well, not necessarily. I think
not necessarily.
I think you should still abide by certain standards, but overall, I don't really care. I don't really care if someone rips my IP.
You're talking about IP law, or are you talking about what your preference is?
So Hasan does the stupid argument where he's like, well, I don't care what people do to my content. I don't care either. You guys can re-upload my fucking videos or live streams or whatever. I don't really give that much of a shit, but that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things because somebody else who's who spends a longer amount of time making their stuff might actually care.
Yeah, like for example, Hasan is saying, I don't care that anyone steals my IP. Yeah, that's because for your whole internet career, all you've ever done is react to other people's shit and read the news. That's all you've ever done. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. But then you don't understand the same type of effort that someone puts into something like Lamino's video, where you make an hour and a half JFK documentary, and then you have some asshole who just opens it and watches the whole thing.
Yeah.
XQC spent an hour 50 minutes on that content, probably made double the amount that Lamino made. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Even if he made half the amount Lamino made, he just sat there and watched it and then just leached all that money off of him. So that's the difference. You're saying you don't care, grats. It's because you just sit on stream and that's it.
Which is what I do as well. It's what we do. I sit on my ass and I talk about other people and I react to things, right? So yeah, I also don't care if people take my content because, it's not exhausting me of thousands of hours of research and editing and animating. I'm not doing any of that. But he doesn't see the bigger picture.
No, he doesn't understand. Because Ethan's about to reiterate again, what about IP law in general? IP law in general. And it just never clicks for Hasan's head.
No.
Personal preferences and what I think, my personal preferences and what I believe and how I believe IP should be run is significantly more
How should IPs
hands-off.
be run? How should IPs be run?
I think that there should be a similar structure to how patents are supposed to exist for all content creation, that after a certain amount of time has passed for like television productions or for even movies in general, that IP should be completely lifted and you can make derivative works off of that with ease.
Well, that's like a 50-year scope.
Exactly. What is he talking about? That's like such a long scope. This is not what literally they did this. In our last video, we talked about this. They reacted to Lamino's video within 8 hours of it being up.
Right.
They reacted and re-uploaded it on their channel within 8 hours. So what is even your point here?
It's just nothing.
Not even a 50-year scope. I think it should be shorter than that.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, I think that as far as like rigorous control over IP, I personally don't have it. I don't believe in it. I don't think it's a good thing.
What do you mean you don't believe in it? I don't understand what that means. You think that people should be able to steal your videos and upload it?
Yeah, which is why I have.
Why? How is that fair to anybody?
It's absolutely not.
It's not fair. Yeah, no, this was a really good clip to see, and it's nice to see Ethan actually challenge his co-host a little bit instead of letting him get away with like these Weasley argumentations and just completely reframing the argument. It's actually nice to see this because for one, it makes for more interesting content and more interesting conversation. And I mean, for two, people like Hasan, they just fundamentally don't understand what they're talking about, and they sit there and they act like they have authority to speak about anything. I mean, politics and stuff, let alone a stupid little content debate like this. I mean, he's just useless.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely useless. And we're gonna get back to watching some more of that video later. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're close to 20K. We're trying to hit that by the end of the week. Probably the end of the week would be pretty dope. So don't forget to subscribe. But Ethan actually backed down from his stance, though.
Yeah, he did back down, which was disappointing to see because if you could see the chat, a lot of his fans, whenever interesting content takes place, the age 3 audience will shriek in horror for some reason. I don't know why.
The chat was just like, Ethan needs to back down and stop,
Ethan,
please.
Stop. You're angry. Why would Ethan being angry be a bad thing? Like, fuck off.
This is awesome.
This is great to see. But he had to, of course, address the angry people in his audience. And somebody said, I think this convo could have gone so much better if Ethan wasn't being combative.
Okay, thanks, McJane20.
Thanks. You don't know anything about good content or good radio.
Yeah.
Ethan responds to this by saying, I didn't realize I was being so combative until after the episode. Sorry, everyone. Deactivating Goblin mode for the week.
Yeah.
Which was disappointing to see. However, Ethan quickly came back out of nowhere. Just decided, you know what, fuck it.
Dark Ethan just swiped back in.
Yeah, he re-entered the game almost immediately and tweeted out, I'd like to say publicly that XQC is a content thief. And if you think that this is defamation, please sue me, bitch.
Damn.
Destroying morons in court is my favorite hobby.
God damn.
If you want me to explain why you're a content thief, I'm happy to chat with you anytime.
Holy shit. I mean, Ethan's right about that. He had Matt Haas. He also had the Ryan Kavanaugh lawsuit. I mean, this dude is just always at the ass of lawsuits. And I guess, I mean, he would probably beat XQC. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, especially if XQC was just sitting down on his stupid ass, just playing his video or whatever. Could you imagine if XQC, like, his content was just watching, like, forget Ethan's podcast. Imagine one of Ethan's like comedy videos that he actually has to spend time like planning and putting together, right?
Yeah.
XQC sits in his ass and steals that. Ethan is going to court and he's going to enjoy it now.
Yeah, he's gonna sue the shit out of him.
Which is funny too, because he used to cope about lawsuits like the first time he went through it with Matt Haas or whatever.
Yeah.
But now he's experienced the art of war, and he's emerged stronger from it.
Yeah, he's a big fan of it now.
Right. So XQC, he got really triggered by H3's podcast yesterday and started mimicking Ethan's tics.
Seriously?
And launching ableist attacks against Ethan.
Yeah, for having Tourette's, by the way.
Really? How dare you?
If you ever see a video like that on YouTube, it is most likely from a fan channel that took a straight VOD rip and posted it on YouTube and is monetizing it themselves. It's not touching me in any capacity. And
can I be honest with you?
What?
There will be a time, in my opinion, where there'll be some legal hammer that will come down on streamers, and there will be a time.
Chat. There will be a time where people don't even use cars anymore, dude. There used to be a time, chat, where people were gonna start flying. Chat, there's a time, chat.
Wow.
Chat, there's a time, chat, where people are gonna be teleporting, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
he tries to change the insult.
Yeah, he tried to make it like his point was retarded. He like switched very quickly there. He initially started immediately mocking his disability, and he was like, there's gonna be a time where there's teleporters and no cars. Nice try, bud. We all
nice
caught that.
try. We all saw what you were doing there. And I mean, how disgraceful. What's next? Anti-Semitism?
Yeah, I mean,
like,
seriously.
what is he gonna go for? What is he gonna go for next?
He's gonna start calling him slurs and stuff. Like, I don't
you might as
understand.
well at this point. I mean, we're reaching, we're crossing the line here.
It's just terrible.
So XQC's been having he's not been having a good week. I mean, he's making these stupid arguments. According to XQC, all reactions are now the same. If you react to a video for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, for 15 minutes of original content, it's all meaningless because a reaction is still a reaction.
Wow.
Which doesn't make any sense.
It's just terrible.
And you know what, chat? You want to tell me how it is? It's crazy just seeing all the streamers and all the YouTubers. You can add a woodwork saying, well, look at X and this guy. Look, they're doing this, and I do this, and I do that. The varying degrees are fucking irrelevant.
Not
the
true.
varying degrees are fucking. It's all so tight in the same spot of fucking low effort. They don't get it. Everybody's calling out all of this. The varying degrees are irrelevant. Nobody gives a fuck, but they pretend to care because it's an easier argument to push on social media to get backing from people. It makes them look like it's easier for them for people to digest.
That's
and you know what, dude?
Dumb.
I'm calling their asses out. Ludwig does that, and Hasan does that. And Asman doesn't pretend to be pure.
So he is just in the final stages of grief here. I mean,
yeah.
What is happening?
He's just fully coping. I mean, I could obviously we completely disagree with the varying degrees. Doesn't matter. I mean, for example, what we're doing is quote unquote react content. We were watching videos, reacting to it. If we were uploading videos to RedFoxComms of us just watching Lamino's documentary in its entirety, we would be doing the same thing as him, but that's not what we're doing. If XQC was making videos like us or making videos like other people who do these kind of react content, we would have what would even be the criticism? That'd be fine. That'd be great. That's not what he's doing. So there is a very different degree of react content, and that's the criticism is you are just sitting there eating chips, watching someone else's shit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's in total denial here because, I don't believe he's this stupid where he just doesn't understand the argument. He's like, they'll always hate me. If I react to videos for 10 minutes, they'll hate me. If I react to videos for 50 minutes, they'll hate me. Fuck, it's all meaningless. No, the argument's stupid. That if you were to sit down and have a conversation, break videos down, only play segments of them, or play the whole thing, and let's say you sit down and watch Lamino's hour-and-a-half long video, but then you give an additional hour of actual content, conversation around it, breaking things down, just literally anything that's not what you're doing now, which would be hilarious to see XQC try to do because,
He does not have the brain capacity.
No, he doesn't have it in him. But yeah, I mean, if he was doing stuff like that and it was fair use, regardless of if the content was actually good or not, if it was fair use, that's all we care about. That's all that really matters. Don't steal. Fair use is supposed to transform the content. It's supposed to add a different quality to it. I'm supposed to be able to watch Lamino's video and XQC's coverage, and these two videos must be different.
Yeah. No, like that's the whole point. Like everything that we watch in this channel, you can go back and watch it yourself and have a totally different takeaway. Or you can watch it yourself for the first time and then come watch our stuff and have a totally different takeaway.
Yeah.
If I had watched Lamino's documentary and then watched XQC react to it, I would have literally had no different thoughts or opinions about it at all, because I would have just been watching the same thing with XQC's stupid face in the top left corner. Like that's it.
Yeah.
There would be nothing added to the story at all.
So XQC tweeted, he said, some of the people going after me for the smallest things think they can get away with it because I'm under fire from every angle. Just remind yourself that you tried it when it's your turn to face the...
Oh my God.
What? Just remind yourself that you tried it when it's your turn to face the music. I'm done holding back. It hasn't given me any peace.
Yeah.
So he's like mentally torn up by the amount of people that are simply just expressing their distaste for stealing. Like this is really like torn him up inside. He's getting frustrated. He's angry at the internet and stuff. I mean, what really? This has been one of the longest debates on the internet, right? Is the ethics of reaction content. It's really. This should not be this difficult for him. If he wants to just be stubborn about it and just watch videos on stream, I mean, why not just keep doing it and just shut the fuck up and not even try to engage? But the difference here is he tries to engage with the argument. He tries to say, no, and argue with the people, and it just doesn't work because it's like a failed position.
Yeah, you're already in the losing position if you take that argument at all. You either have to shut up and commit or stop doing it. That's the other option. But,
exactly.
And he tried to come up with some other solution to it, but he quickly backed down and deleted it. So he's not really going dark XQC mode like he initially claimed.
Yeah, immediately he tried to bargain with all the people that are mad at him and tweet out an idea to YouTube. Hey, YouTube, Team YouTube, there's been a lot of talk about React content and re-uploads of YouTubers' content. It would be useful to have a tag or icon show up with an optional timer on videos that creators can enable if they don't want their videos reacted to. Thoughts? So what he's basically suggesting is that when you upload a video as a YouTuber, you can have the option to put up a little message that says, hey, I don't want streamers to react to this. So that way, if he finds your video and he knows you don't want it to be reacted to, then you can just tell them that immediately, which is an interesting idea, but I
just don't really see the use.
See the practicality in it.
Yeah, first of all, like if this was actually implemented, it might possibly be something YouTube has to enforce, which obviously they're not going to do that. I mean, they're already incompetent at a lot of the stuff they do.
Yeah, we're still waiting on like 2 videos to get reviewed for ads that we uploaded like 6 days ago.
Yeah, so it's not going to happen. They're not going to force that. And also, second of all, what does he mean by an optional timer on videos? Like, is it going to show up at the top and like tick down from 1 minute, and then after 1 minute
you've seen enough of my video now, you must click off,
or you have to pause and you have to say something, and then the timer's like, XQC can't think for himself.
He can't.
He can't like think.
No, like, okay, you know what? I don't really have much to say when I'm watching this, so I'm gonna watch something else.
No, he has to see the timer that goes down to 1 minute, then it pauses. He's like, oh, I gotta say something.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me play again, and then it pauses. Like he has to have it laid out directly to him because he just is too incompetent to do it himself. Like, what does that even mean?
I don't know, man. And look, I get it. All right, if XQC, if you're watching Lamino talk about the JFK assassination and you don't have much to say about it, why not just watch stupider videos?
Yeah, watch
that
videos
you would have something to say about, right?
Watch videos that are on your level. I mean,
yeah, it's exactly. So going back to the H3 podcast, Hasan's arguments are just hilarious. I mean, what is this guy smoking?
Yeah.
Right here, we're gonna see Ethan push him on what his ideal world would look like, and it's just, I mean, we've seen this content already. It's indescribable how stupid he is.
Yeah.
Do you really believe that?
Yeah, well, I mean, Ethan, if you literally search HasanAbi, there are 1,000 channels pretty much that literally take everything I do on my stream and re-upload it and make money.
No, I know that you don't care, but you're talking about like the law.
In a perfect world,
I don't care that much either about what people do with my content.
Yeah,
but
in a perfect world, I think that content of this sort would be heavily subsidized by government subsidies in the arts, in the field of art.
You would be subsidized?
Everyone, every type of content.
Wow. So we would be subsidized by the government. That means he thinks the government should give paychecks to content creators. How does he expect this to work? Like, What are the logistics of this? How much does Hasan get paid versus how much does like Lamino get paid, right?
Right.
If Hasan streams for 8 hours, how much money is he making? And then versus Lamino's upload, how much money is he making? I'm sure Hasan's answer would be like, well, it depends on how much viewers they get. Well, guess what? We already have that in place, right? Don't we already have a system like this? Why does the government have to be the one that subsidizes it?
Why would you even trust that?
What is it? And how does this fix anything either? What does this have to do with anything?
Content would be heavily subsidized so that art would not be created for the sake of like
speaking to like a real
monetization.
World right now.
Yeah,
art
which
would not
is
be
why I'm
created
saying
for the sake of monetization. You would still. This doesn't even make sense because, like I said, why would Lamino make a 1 hour 30-minute video when he could just stream for 3 hours and make the same amount of money? Or you have to say that the government does subsidize certain people more depending on the type of content they make, which then it still is done for monetization.
Right.
You're still making it for monetization. What is it? I don't even.
This is crazy. Every time I think I've heard the newest like cope argument from a reaction streamer of like how to avoid just commentating over the shit that they watch. I think I've heard it all, and then I play this, and it's like, okay, we're in full fantasy land now. What the fuck?
What are you even saying?
My own idealistic understanding of the world versus what is happening in the real world are two separate issues or two separate scenarios.
So you believe that IPs, people should just be able to steal your content.
I don't
re-upload it.
Well, first of all, I don't even consider it theft because people do that already, and I have given allowances for people to do that.
No,
However,
I'm not saying people are stealing your content.
Yeah.
I'm talking about IP laws in general.
I think that the protection should
only. You know what this reminds me of? You ever heard of the breakfast question?
What's that?
It's the question where you ask someone like, "How would you feel if you didn't have breakfast this morning?"
Right.
And they answer, "Well, I did have breakfast this morning." Ethan's giving Hasan a logical conclusion to come to. So you don't care if people steal your videos and re-upload them. Hasan's like, "I don't care if people steal my videos and re-upload them." Hey, dumbass, he's giving you a thought process for everyone and how the law applies. He's not asking about you in particular.
Yeah,
he's clarified that like 5 times.
He's like, well, I'm fine with this. Yeah, I'm also fine with my content being used, right? But if I was Lamino, I probably wouldn't.
But he's not able to logically, his brain, he's literally victim to the breakfast question right now. His brain isn't even able to comprehend that this is a complex question that Ethan's trying to ask him. And he's only applying it to himself and like, well, so what? People do it to me. Go search HasanAbi on YouTube.
Yeah.
Bro, what are you even saying?
How is it also not? He's also saying like, I don't consider it theft because it already happens.
To you.
What?
And also that doesn't mean it's not theft.
Yeah, that doesn't address anything.
For, people like YouTube channels and whatnot, people that are smaller independent operations, and that the restrictions should be heavily limited for larger corporations.
So how do you decide who's a smaller and who's a larger?
That's actually a really good question. I don't have an answer for that. I've thought about it a lot, but I do not have an answer for it.
Thought about it a lot, no answer.
I've thought about it so much, I've never come to any conclusion. I don't think you've really thought about it a lot, but this sounds like he's just rambling shit up on the spot.
Yeah, and it's probably because he doesn't expect, he probably considers this show to be a safe space for him, so he doesn't really expect Ethan to push him. And I don't watch The Leftovers a lot, but this is a rare case of Ethan actually pushing him pretty aggressively by his standards, and Hasan's just got nothing in the tank.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like maybe revenue structure wise, like after a certain.
So what you just hit? Yeah,
you just hit
a
like
money
a
number, and then you have
cap,
more
and then it limits down.
What if
like a progressive taxation structure where it like basically limits the amount that you can maintain your own intellectual property patents.
What if that's how you make a living? So they take your IP away, and then all of a sudden your business goes bankrupt because everyone can steal your content.
What do you mean? Why would your business go bankrupt?
Wow.
Your business, potentially, you're making money by creating proprietary or unique content.
Okay.
So once you were like, hey, my business is doing great, I'm making $10 million a year, and then you lose your IP. How does that make sense?
Because it's still unique content creation, which means
people
that
just start re-uploading it, and then your bottom line is going to get crushed.
Yeah, you'll certainly, on your old library content, you would still have like some.
You see that this is so much more
your
complicated.
Old content, what is the point he was going to make there? That you're still getting residual revenue from old videos. So therefore, even though you lost all IP in your old videos, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It just doesn't. We're in fucking fantasy land here. This is like crazy. Like Hasan's basically like literally coming up with new systems of government to address why he's allowed to sit on his ass and stuff his face with food and watch fucking MasterChef all day. chill realize how stupid you sound and maybe assess if you're coming at this from a completely wrong angle.
Yeah, I do.
Why make things more complicated? I don't understand that.
Well, I mean, I think this is still, the way that it currently exists is still pretty complicated.
I don't
it's
think
not that complicated.
No,
It's
I
like,
think it's pretty easy.
I mean,
Actually, it's one of the easiest entry level type jobs of all time.
Right.
Because you can just upload videos, get monetized, get paid. I mean, that's like as simple as it really is. There's no sort of government subsidies and having to apply for government subsidies, and then like planning for when you lose all IP access once you hit a certain revenue level, and then also having to plan around people just re-uploading your entire content for free and trying to match SEO and like.
Difficult thing about the way the system is currently is that fair use can sometimes be a subjective debate where it's like debatable, like is Pearly Things watching 90% or 80% of Admin Preach, fair use? So it's like stuff like that does exist and creates some sort of debate or discussion, but it's really, for the most part, pretty easy to tell like when something is fair use and when something isn't. So I don't really understand why it's complicated now.
It definitely is complicated. People abuse DMCA. You know this already. Like people.
So because some people send fake DMCAs or impersonate companies or people, therefore the system is complicated. No, there's just bad actors that exist in the world.
Yeah, bad actors are going to exist no matter what system you uphold. And I don't know how this would like fix anything. I guess DMCA just wouldn't exist anymore, so therefore no one can ever be a bad actor again in any other context.
Yeah,
that doesn't. Okay, I guess in a fantasy land, sure, yeah.
That's not complicated.
Even in the way that I have simplified my structure, where I'm like, do whatever you want, make money if you want off of the content. Even then, there are bad actors. For example, there is a network of like botted channels from Vietnam that until like, I don't know, 3 months ago were like uploading videos about fishing, that then turn around and start uploading videos of my streams.
But isn't that okay? Didn't you say you're fine with that?
But also, what does this have to do with that? So, okay, that happens. How is your conclusion? Everyone should just give up their IP then. I still understand what your point is.
That's just okay, but that's not my point.
But then
is
they
that
DMCA other fan channels or even my channels. Sometimes they try to DMCA me with my content, and they're abusing the DMCA structure.
It's not.
Yes, which is already illegal. Yeah, it's illegal to send a fake DMCA.
Yeah, so we have laws and structures set in place that make this illegal.
Not only is that illegal, but it's also against the YouTube terms of service. If you send a false DMCA, you can get banned for that.
Yeah. So of course, like if his point is just, well, there's bad actors in the world who break the law. Great. That's going to happen no matter what system you put in place. No one disagrees with you that that's bad and that's annoying.
Murder happens. So therefore crime is like fucking pointless to try and stop. We should just live in an anarchist society.
Yeah.
What?
The government should subsidize murder because other people do murder against the law.
It happens. So fuck it. Let's just embrace it. No.
That's so retarded.
It's just that. You just need to sue someone to find actual resolve.
Yeah, you have
the law is pretty straightforward, I feel like.
You have to have, bad actors are always going to exist, which is why you need to have some regulations, some laws around it, which is what I'm saying. I agree with you on that.
So you just conceded his whole position. He just immediately conceded his whole position.
Wow.
There's always going to be people that violate it. Ultimately, if you want to understand why I have this opinion, look, I grew up in Turkey. We did not have access to movies when I was growing up in a timely manner. We did not have access to video games when I was growing up in a timely manner. And the only way I was able to enjoy all of these video games when I was growing up in Turkey was cracked video games.
What the fuck, man? Really? That's where we're at now? We're like 5 minutes in the conversation and this is his excuse for stealing content? Really? He had to steal? I was in Turkey. So do kids in Turkey, are they just not able to watch Lamino? They have to XQC, but XQC is allowed in there. What are you saying?
XQC is the guy who feeds all the little Turkish kids content. So thanks to him.
Fantasy argument land are we in? This is just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's his connection. It's supposed to be, I had to use crack content growing up. Therefore, all illegal content and all IP stealing content is good.
It's like, what?
What are you even talking about? This is just, and another thing, he's about to like a kind of beef Ethan on this too, but it's just like, okay, that's not the point.
No.
Great, so you got to watch and play video games in Turkey when you were a kid. Turkey has dumb laws. Okay, we're talking about XQC. We're talking about if this is fair use. What the fuck are you even saying?
What is this?